So, welcome everybody. Come on in. Got some kind of funky music going here. It's called night driving. That's what they called it. Night driving. Night driving music. Let's see. Does it sound like night driving music? Is that what you want to play when you're driving at night? Good morning. I don't know if I'd play that at night, but I guess it's the pace of it, you know? Here's Lofty. Some weird music. There we go. Let's just get into it. Let's get into the cray of the day. Whew, that moon in Scorpio, I guess, is really messing a lot of people up. Um, one thing I've always said, no offense to anybody who has, um, a moon and sun in Scorpio, but in my experience, I'm gonna have to plug my computer in just 1 second. My experience, when I look at someone's chart, I got to really look at it. It's just I found that, especially a moon, if they're close to a new moon, I find that there's um if they're very close to a new moon in their chart that's in Scorpio, I'm talking about Scorpio, I find them hard to trust. There's always a hidden agenda there. There's something hidden. And the other part that I've noticed, and this is just with me doing many charts, this is just looking at it, not making a judgment, that a lot of times, and if they had a Venus in there and with the moon there and with the sun there, they usually have some kind of ailment that's going on. There's something going on in their life, that some kind of sickness or some kind of something, um, even from childhood, you know? And so that's what I've noticed with charts. So when you have a moon, because the moon doesn't like to be in Scorpio, really. It's at what we call the fall position. So, and neither Venus is in detriment. So together it's a double whammy for many people. And I find, as I said yesterday, it's about owning it. It's about embracing it and owning what you have and looking at truly what you do have, like getting to the depths of what you do have. People bitch and complain, well, I don't have this and I don't have that. And it's like, oh my God, that's a third world problem. I mean, if you think about it, like in 100 years ago, so 100 years ago, so we'll take 1923. In 1923, that not many people could read or write, believe it or not. To get an education was a big thing. A lot of kids were pulled from school to go to the farms and stuff and work. And it was a time when, education was low, right? It wasn't a high priority. If you were getting educated, it was either you were part of a elite or the middle class families were coming in, and middle class was making quite an impact on the world at that time, from especially from the Edwardian age, and going from the Edwardian age, that's really, because there was no income tax and stuff people had to pay. And so a lot of people were making money at that time. But when we look at today, is that we have such a depth of information that's out there for us to grab hold of and learn, right? And so many people find that, and difficult. And I think, going back to this moon in Scorpio and Venus there, it's like, oh, woe is me, and all, and especially, Sunday we're going to come into the balsamic moon, so it's going to get really dark, right? So it's like people are like want to go off and shade off into the darkness, and oh, woe is me, life is just a tragedy. When we have to sort of like lift yourself up and dust yourself off and start all over again. That sounds like a real good Disney song, right? But there is a positive when we have this, and it's don't get lost in some crazy, needy, dramatic energy. And that's what I'm saying. It's like when I've seen people, charts with especially with the sun there and stuff, I just find them fucking needy, or they want to overdo things. They want to overdo it, to either make an impression and stuff. And then if you're not towing the line the way they think that you should toe the line, they'll be the first ones to kind of turn around and backstab you. That's what I've noticed. But anyways, this is about being positive, and especially with the moon coming into an opposition to Uranus, right? Um and coming into that's Scorpio. Scorpio. I don't have a moon in Scorpio. My moon's in Cancer. So I don't have a moon in Scorpio. So um but that's what what I found. Same if I see somebody with a sun in Scorpio and a moon in Aquarius, usually there's some kind of because the moon's internal, right? It's your internal subconscious part. And Scorpio is that dark sign. It is the sign that really takes you to places that I should stop playing with my hair. Places that you don't want to go, and really try to get to some underhanded. It's almost like you're going through the dark depths of the woods, and there's a pathway there, and you come across a gate, and you're opening the gate, and you're trying to find in through this darkness is a pathway, a way of finding yourself in amongst where it says do not disturb, no trespassing, don't come in here. There's a reason there's a gate there. But
Unknown caller.
when I see, sorry about that, everybody. When I see that, I find that they've come into this lifetime to really work on stuff. So if you have a moon in Scorpio, you've come into this world to really work on some shit because it's internal, right? That's an internal energy. Now, when you have Venus there, like I do have a Venus in my at the end of my Scorpio, it goes from my fifth to my sixth house, and it is where you have to not just try and fix things and then put a band-aid over kind of thing. You really have to do the work. So, oh, I'm fine. I've just been sneezing and stuff, and yeah, I'm fine. And it's finding, finding that, hey, it's not just doom and gloom. And that's where a lot of people are looking at. It's just doom and gloom. You have the protests, you have all of the, craziness that is happening. But we got to start looking into where the light is, because we have a Jupiter in Taurus. Yes, it's retrograde. It's going to go forward on January or December 31st. But one of the big things about Jupiter being in Taurus and with Uranus there, it's looking at what you have, what you can do with what you have, being thankful for what you have, but also, are you wanting to learn something new? Like, I talk to people about AI and stuff and like, "Oh, that's scary." Yeah, well, okay, it's scary. Well, hey, when the computer came out, people thought that was scary. When television came out, people thought that was scary. Like, for the longest time, my parents would not have TV at all in the house. My mom had 4 kids. She still didn't have TV. When she made dinner, she made sure that all of them were either sitting on a chair and doing something, reading, doing a book. I mean, probably that was a good thing, right? So that's just so she knew where the hell my brothers, my sister were, because they were little shit disturbers. But when my mother had the 4th child who was very sick, My aunt, when she came down, wanted she says, "I'm not coming, Harold, if you don't have a TV," because she watched The Edge of Night. If anybody who knows what The Edge of Night is, you'll understand what I'm talking about, but many of you may not because it just really predates you all. But she would watch this Edge of Night. It was a soap opera, and she couldn't miss an episode. So my dad, who worked at the Bay at that time, got a deal on, Lexi's like, "Yes." Got a deal on a TV. Now, the TV at that time, was a TV, right? A TV, but it also had a record player in it, and it was a full-on stereo thing, so we had a record player and everything in there, so and that was another world. So, they didn't wanna have it because it was new, it was different, but the thing is that you plugged it in and then all of a sudden it things came on I thought they just lived in the back of the TV, but, found out later they didn't, but, um, that was just to, start that. Same with getting a computer, the whole thing about a computer, it's scary. So, anyways, we have to step into learning something new, to advance ourselves, to educate ourselves. It is so important. It's, like even with history, let's go into history. If you don't know a part of history or you're not understanding some part of history, s- start finding books on it, like something tangible, right? Not necessarily online because that can change very easily, like Wikipedia online, they can change it, they can edit it to or delete things out of it. But start looking into books, old history books, getting the knowledge there. We've never had that before. 100 years ago, just to have a book. Like my mother would have been, oh well, 100 years ago. She didn't she wasn't born until 1924. But my father, for them to get a book was at Christmas time, and that was the biggest thing ever. If you think about it, when they went to school, they had a little chalkboard and a piece of chalk. Honestly, that's what they had. So to have something printed was a huge thing because it cost a lot of money to have it done. We're now at an age, and this is where this energy is. It's and just a glimpse into some of the things for 2024, just to you know, entice you if you want to come and join me on December 30th, is you have to be able to be resourceful. If you are not resourceful in this coming year, you're going to find it difficult. If you're not willing to learn something new, if you're not wanting to strategize or allow yourself to to open up to new innovative ideas or learn something, it's gonna be a tough it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Where it's saying it's like not to be, don't get lost in some crazy, needy, dramatic, you know, um, political bullshit or in some crazy, needy rhetoric that's going on there or rhetoric that you're producing within your own life. Years
Unknown caller.
years ago, ooh, okay, years ago. Years ago, what I sat with a girlfriend of mine and we sat in my tent because I used to have a tent in my house. Many of you know that. So I sat in my tent in my house in a gazebo tent and I was saying, why isn't anybody coming? Why I'm doing all this stuff and I'm why isn't anybody coming? Yeah, I had a telephone call. And I sent them to my anyways. People are calling. Anyways, I I couldn't figure out, why isn't anybody coming? I'm here. It's like the idea of wanting Prince Charming to come to your door to rescue you, to take you away, to so that your life would be all wonderful, pretty, having that idea of somebody coming to rescue you. And here it is like, when I'm sitting there thinking about it, it's like, okay, you know what, Mary, what you have to do is you have to get out, you have to go to markets, you have to be seen, you have to ask. And that's a huge one. You can't just sit there and do nothing. If you're wanting to make a change, if you're wanting to create something new and different in your world, then you are having to take some form of action. And here we have the sun and Mars and Sagittarius. It's about action. It is about doing something. It is about getting involved. It's like, have you gone to, you want to get if you're feeling depressed, have you gone to a Christmas market? Have you gone to look at the lights? We have the Christmas train is coming to Calgary tonight, Make plans to go to the Christmas train, right? Um Things like that. It's like getting yourself out there and making those changes, learning something that is new. Maybe what you learn, you may not use it right now, but all of a sudden, a year from now, 2 years, 10 years from now, you're like, "Holy shit, that makes sense. I'm glad I have that." Right? Here we are, and we're sitting in this where we are having to adult. It's adulting, and many people don't want to adult right now. They don't want to adult. Oh, just do it for me. It's like, my kids asked me something. I said, "Did you Google? Did you look it up? Like, have you done your own research on it?" "No, mom, I just want you to do it." It's like, "Mom, could you come and sage my house? I've taught you how to sage your house. I've shown you how to sage your house. You were raised in a woman who saged her house all the time and saged you when you came in from a sleepover or from some kind of event." They weren't allowed in the house unless they were saged. And they just sort of like, "Oh, but it's so much better when you do it, mom." No, this is yours, right? Take control of it, right? Control of it. And that's where we're at. It's like taking control of adulting, taking control of your life, taking control of what you need to do in your world. If you're sitting there waiting for somebody else to do it, if you're waiting on the government, well, you're fucked. Yeah, I mean, really, you're fucked. That's the whole thing. You got to create your own world. You got to create your own reality. And that's, if you're sitting there, that Mr. Good Hair Boy is going to fix shit. I mean, good luck on you. I don't think he has that good of hair anyways. But that's that's the whole thing. And Mercury, he's in Capricorn, and he's going to be going.
Unknown caller.
I don't know. Sorry, guys. I keep on getting this one caller calling in. So, hang on. I think I know why. Hold on. I think I got a reading. And I totally forgot. That's my fault. Anyways, I probably have to go now, guys, because I totally forgot I had shit. That's my day. But do something beautiful. Do something wonderful. And really engage in what you need to do. And I got to get going here. I'm going to talk to you guys all soon. Love you all. Me and my mind. God bless, and the God is blessed.